Got to start getting to this gun thing, as I said I would. It's like 8-9 minutes long. I don't have time to play it all, but here is the whole exchange on Fast and Furious, and then both of them with their anti-gun agenda, and Obama saying he does want to ban your semi-autos. That's what assault weapons ban is, and wants to designate you psychologically bad to take your guns. So, you know, for me, this is the one point where I was like, well, at least Romney says he's not coming for my guns now. Even though I probably can't believe him, he can be held to that commitment. But Obama's telling me he's coming for my guns, and I'm going to just stay out of this. And maybe we should. Maybe it just get Obama in there and just let him try to take the country over. If I was the police and military, I'd be asking myself one thing. Are you ready for this civil war? Because they're going to send you in against people, and they're going to have, you know, blowing up farmhouses and shooting people, and, yeah, these terrorists got it. You're going to be able to wipe out the first groups of patriots you go after. But then people aren't going to be waiting for you at their houses. They're going to come after you. And I know you're training for that. I mean, you really want a bunch of global banker collectivist criminals to have you start a civil war in America? This is really what you want. You really want to sign on with the devil. Because I'm telling you, folks, that's where this is headed. This isn't a game. Let's go ahead and start going to the clip. Here's the out-of-control, domesticated woman who thinks guns are bad in the hands of the citizens. Here it is.
President Obama, during the Democratic National Convention in 2008, you stated you wanted to keep AK-47s out of the hands of criminals. What has your administration done or plan to do?
This one, I'll never get to the 8 or 9 minutes. Maybe I should do on the nightly news tonight. It's all baloney, or during the Money Bomb tomorrow that starts, 48-hour broadcast. They're not AK-47s, moron. They're semi-automatic variants, and by the way, that's good they're semi-auto. Your obsession with full auto. They're not AK-47s. They're semi-automatic versions. And most crimes aren't committed with those. By the way, Obama says that. He says he wants the handguns. Yeah, I know you want the handguns. Harder to get those away from people at checkpoints. Let's go ahead and go back to this.
To limit the availability of assault weapons.
You know, we're a nation that believes in the Second Amendment.
And pause again. Back it up. Just every bit of it's bull. You believe in the Second Amendment. Kind of like he said he believes in small businesses when he says you didn't build that. But their new argument is the Second Amendment means you turn your guns in. Go back to it. I'm sorry. Go back to it.
You know, we've got a long tradition of hunting and sportsmen.
It's not about hunting. You know that, liar.
People who want to make sure they can protect themselves. But there have been too many instances during the course of my presidency where I've had to comfort
people can't protect themselves in Chicago or New York where you took their guns.
Most recently, out in Aurora.
Oh, yeah, that thing you staged?
A couple of weeks ago, actually.
You don't fool me.
I saw a mother who I had met at the bedside of her son.
Could these people be any more sheep-like when you watch video of them?
And her son had been shot through the head. And we spent some time and we said a prayer.
Oh, a prayer.
And remarkably, about 2 months later, this young man and his mom showed up, and he looked unbelievable.
Now he's manipulating Christians. What are you, Benny Hinn?
But there were a lot of families who didn't have that good fortune, and whose sons or daughters or husbands didn't survive. So my belief is that, A, we have to enforce the laws we've already got, make sure that we're keeping guns out of the hands of criminals.
By shipping them to Mexico?
Mentally ill. We've done a much better job in terms of background checks, but we've got more to do when it comes to enforcement. But I also share your belief that weapons that were designed for soldiers in war theaters don't belong on our streets.
Oh, really? We need warfare weapons. That's what the founders said.
Is to get a broader conversation about how do we reduce the violence generally. Part of it is
these control freaks hate the fact that we have firearms and they can't do just they did in Russia.
But part of it is also looking at other sources of the violence. Because, frankly, in my hometown of Chicago, there's an awful lot of violence. And they're not using AK-47s, they're using cheap handguns. And so what can we do to intervene to make sure that young people
disarm people of Chicago so the criminals all go there?
Schools are working. That if there's violence on the streets, that working with faith groups and law enforcement, we can catch it before it gets out of control.
That means having churches spy on you.
Is a comprehensive strategy. Part of it is seeing if we can get automatic weapons that kill folks in amazing numbers out of the hands of criminals
Hit pause.
and the mentally ill.
Okay, scum, liar. He's just following a anti-gun script from the Violence Policy Center and George Soros. Obama, you know you can't buy full auto weapons. And they used that poor woman, he's like, has crazed eyes when she talks about assault weapons, machine guns. Number one, lady, special forces don't put their guns on full auto. Full auto is a lot safer than actually somebody knowing where they're putting the bullets. I'm so sick of idiots know nothing about guns. Now, Obama knows all about them. He's lying, saying criminals have full auto. The only criminals that have full auto are the ones that got it from U.S. military personnel and black ops who were ordered to ship full auto into Mexico to destabilize that country. And the big U.S. banks and Western banks caught giving full autos and armored vehicles and planes to the drug dealers because they run the drug operations. Wells Fargo, Wachovia, they all got caught running the aircraft, funding the guns, all of it. Shut up when you talk about death and destruction and how you care about people. What a joke, Obama. What a joke. We all know about the CIA in Mena, Arkansas. We all know about Fast and Furious. We all know about Iran-Contra. Don't sit there and talk about some individual you know that got shot in the head and how terrible the automatic weapons are. The only people selling automatic weapons or giving them out are you. So you can blame our Second Amendment. Let's go back to him here.
But part of it is also going deeper and seeing if we can get into these communities and making sure we catch violent impulses before they occur.
Governor Romney, the question is about assault weapons, AK-47s.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of new pieces of legislation.
Aleister Crowley is so arrogant and loves her power and like a big fat parrot sitting up there in front of people on television. These egomaniacs just relish being on air. They just love it. They just absolutely love it. I'm here because I have to be. I don't want to be here. And I've been around these egomaniacs. I was talking off air to Joe Curl of the Washington Times. I need to get him back to tell the story. He was naming the names of these national TV people, just laughing and giggling and talking about all this and laughing during the debate and laughing at how they knew, stuff was lies, but still supporting Obama. I mean, it's so... I mean, it wasn't secret what he was telling me. We just never got to it on air. We were talking during a break. He talked about some of it on air. It's funny to them. I mean, I've been around it too. I've been to these national events and to the RNC and DNC and stuff, and they love the fact the public's dumb. It's funny to them to sit there and lie to everybody. Obama and Aleister Crowley and all those, the moderator, they all know that there's not fully auto out there. They all know that Fast and Furious shipped guns into Chicago and Indianapolis and Tampa and other areas, and it came out. They all know. It's just a sick joke to them, posing like they're the humanitarians. Let's play some more of Mr.
on guns and taking guns away or making certain guns illegal. We, of course, don't want to have automatic weapons, and that's already illegal in this country to have automatic weapons.
Good job, Romney.
What I believe is we have to do, as the president mentioned towards the end of his remarks there, which is to make enormous efforts to enforce the gun laws that we have and to change the culture of violence we have. And you ask, how are we going to do that? And there are a number of things. He mentioned good schools. I totally agree. We were able to drive our schools to be #1 in the nation in my state. And I believe if we do a better job in education, we'll give people the hope and opportunity they deserve and perhaps less violence from that. But let me mention another thing, and that is parents. We need moms and dads helping raise kids.
Oh, wow.
Wherever possible.
Parents are needed.
Having 2 parents in the home, and that's not always possible.
The state doesn't like
a lot
that.
Of great single moms, single dads. But gosh, to tell our kids that before they have babies, they ought to think about getting married to someone, that's a great idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there's a 2-parent family, the prospect of living in poverty goes down dramatically.
Yeah, 4 times.
The opportunities that the child will be able to achieve increase dramatically. So we can make changes in the way our culture works to help bring people away from violence and give them opportunity and bring them in the American system. The greatest failure we've had with regard regards to gun violence in some respects is what is known as Fast and Furious, which was a program under this administration, and how it worked exactly, I think we don't know precisely, but where thousands of automatic and AK-47 type weapons were given to people that ultimately gave them to drug lords. They used those weapons against their own citizens.
Clinton did
and
that in '97. They had the Chinese government
this was a
bring
program
guns.
of the government. For what purpose it was put in place, I can't imagine.
Hit pause.
But it's one of the
Well, since you can't imagine, I told you this over a year ago, but ABC News and CBS earlier this year, it was the memos have come out in Congress that it was to be blamed on the Second Amendment. And Obama went ahead and still did that, along with Eric Holder. I mean, I am just tired of it. Let's go back to more of this disgustingness.
The great tragedies related to violence in our society, which has occurred during this administration, which I think the American people would like to understand fully. It's been investigated to a degree, but the administration has carried out executive privilege to prevent all the information from coming out. I'd like to understand who it was that did this, what the idea was behind it, why it led to the violence. Thousands of guns going to Mexican drug lords.
Governor, if I could, the question was about these assault weapons that once were banned.
There you go, a slap down. And of course, Fast and Furious is related. She's asking about assault weapons, the president shipping them into Mexico. What are you going to do about it? Okay, we'll have the government stop shipping guns in. And then the know-it-all Aleister Crowley in a wig gets up there and is going to dictate to everyone. We're going into overdrive. I got to go to Paleo and others. I mean, just unbelievable, Aleister Crowley. Insider billionaire investors like George Soros and John Paulson have recently made massive moves into gold, purchasing what Bloomberg News described as gold hoards. Soros alone doubled his holdings in a single day. Russia's Vladimir Putin has doubled down on gold, increasing the country's holdings by over 100%. With $1.8 trillion under management, the bond king Bill Gross, the world's preeminent bond fund manager at PIMCO, has warned investors of the dangers of QE3 and inflation. And what's he betting on? You guessed it, gold. Friends, this is Alex Jones for MidasResources.com. For more than 15 years, I have exclusively used Midas Resources for all my precious metal needs. Whether it's bullion or collectibles you're looking for, Midas Resources is simply the best. I own my gold as a hedge against inflation. This Federal Reserve fiat currency could go the way of the Deutschmark and the Weimar Republic anytime. In these historically dangerous times, it makes sense to physically hold gold and silver. Midas already has some of the best deals in the industry. But if you give them a call and mention the radio special, they will give you a list of the day's super specials. Midas brokers are standing by to answer all your questions at 800-686-2237. They also have a lot of informative free literature explaining the opportunities and risk of holding precious metals. They are ready to answer your questions at 800-686-2237. Again, that's 800-686-2237. All right, let's go to Paleo in Florida. Thanks for holding. You're on the air. You heard Candy Crowley, I call her Aleister Crowley, in drag, say that Fast and Furious has nothing to do with crimes being committed with guns, and she said so. And she said that the president said that was a terror attack day one in Benghazi, and she said the sun didn't come up this morning, too. And, well, last time I checked, it's dark outside. She's right. So there you go. She's God. What's your comment or question today, sir?
Yeah, how you doing, Alex?
Good.
I just want to let you know you're doing a wonderful thing with exposing the Illuminati and how Obama wants to take care of the guns and all that. But the void about everything is I need you to go back to your roots, Alex, where you went onto how we'd won the West. And that to me, I liked who you were then, because you were telling me the truth then. And
well, that's not my roots. I mean, I think I was in Kevin's film like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, exposing the fact that marijuana should be decriminalized. I talked about that yesterday, actually, at some length. Or, yeah, no, it was Monday. So, I mean, I cover it all. Just because you tune in and don't hear me covering something at one time doesn't mean that, I don't cover it.
No, Alex, I always listen to you, and I like I said, I love your work when you expose Illuminati, and all you bring in is Health Ranger and all that, but then you have other people that are trying to give you nutrients that aren't really nutrients, you know, they're giving you powder forms, and we all know what real food is. You can't preserve it. You can't put it in plastic. You can't. That's just what it is. You can't put it in the freezer, in the fridge, and expect it to still be alive. That's just the truth about everything, Alex. That's why I need you to be talking about these people instead about the Illuminati and the gold, because they're never going to understand that, because they can't even understand their own feet. They can't. They're so.
Well, we're trying the best we can. I hear you though. Lance in Utah, you're on the air. Welcome.
Thank you. I guess I could label myself an InfoWar Mormon, and I wanted to give you a little bit of insight I have on Mitt Romney, because I guess in a way I'm really close to that family in a sense that I'm one person away from him. But I think it will help people to clarify who Romney is a little bit more within this construct. And I just want to mention that I'm a full Ron Paul supporter, but I noticed that the elite do not like Mitt Romney. They didn't like him in the first time he ran. They consider him a lesser of two goods, if you will, and that's why they always put other people in front of him throughout the whole debates. Because at Romney's core, and I can really attest to this, and it's the same opinion I think Joel Scalzon has. Yes, he's deceived. I mean, he's been in the corporate world. He's been wrapped up in making money his whole life, and he's just now. But I mean, it is a tenet of his religious faith that the Constitution is a divine document. It's actually, I think we're the only religion that I am aware of that actually believe that it really truly is. It's canonized in our scriptures as a divine document. And so Mitt Romney, I consider him to be like I was about 10 years ago before I woke up to all this crap. And so I've seen him. Yes, he flip-flops, but I've flip-flopped as I've woken up. But I see him as at his core, a very good man. I mean, instead of secretly worshiping Lucifer in his private time, he secretly worships Christ, and I really believe that is the case.
We're out of time for this segment. We'll have to cover it more on the nightly news tonight, 7 o'clock, in the 48-hour transmission tomorrow. There's the moderator. We found a picture of her. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.